Morning. We got it. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome to this morning's meditation. We did it. It is Tuesday, yet another week in this really intense, energetic. If we're paying any attention to astrology, to the solar flares, to all of it, it is like just off the charts intensity. However, doesn't necessarily mean for each of us like where we're tracking and how it's going. I think all of us are kind of finding it in our own ways. So what I wanted to, what the effect of that can be, again, is different for everyone and how that is manifesting, how it's playing out. So what I wanted for us to really get clear with today is our orientation points, because the energy, what we're working with right now is so fundamentally different that the frame of reference and orientation point for the brain, it's like we have a new zero, right? We have a new spot of reference because so much new has opened that where we used to anchor in from, there's now like this whole new blast radius that is opened, like, oh, we can now back ourselves up in our thinking and in the spaces that we connect to and into from, that allows us to reconvene and connect and see and perceive in ways that we haven't before. In other words, we can find and connect through greater expansion and bigger metas. So again, in meditation, we're just here to be in the experience of it. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So starting with a nice deep breath in, nice big exhale out, closing your eyes and allowing yourself to just settle into the room and to the moment. And today's theme really is about clearing the veil, clearing the noise in your mind, and even finding where that veil lives, maybe even eliminating the veil as your orientation point, because maybe the veil is no longer real. Maybe it's just not there. We'll see. Let's see what has become the new frame of reference for you. So with that nice deep breath in, again, today's and last week, a lot of the frame of reference was somewhat of a like just falling backwards, like kind of backflipping in the mind. So as you do that connectivity, that connection point, sending your consciousness up towards the sun, I want you to play with that. I want you to, instead of going, as we typically do with light link, going up and out of the crown chakra, I want you to orient to the sun in a different way. Actually, I want you to go towards the sun in every direction, but through your crown. And I'm proposing this for our light link today, because the way the earth orients to the sun isn't necessarily out through the crown of the Taurus, right? Think about proportionally where the sun is relationally to the earth in this moment in time. We run on an elliptical. A lot of our energetics, literally the planetary energetics, have been impacted greatly by massive solar flares. And they even believe, or certain research is showing, that there are like wires, if you will, like best way to think of them is in the same way we send a wire up to the sun when we envision it up above our heads in that sky. Well, wires that those solar winds come across and through the cosmos, connecting to our planet. So as you imagine connecting to the sun, let yourself just orient as this orb of light. Don't be a fixed human with feet on the earth. Just kind of become that orb and let yourself, much like a gimbal, or if you've ever seen a compass spin inside of, a globe, right? Like if you're on a boat or something, they'll just start spinning till they find true north. Let yourself in your mind's eye just start to kind of spin internally until you find those wires of connectivity. And maybe it is imagining stepping out your front door and seeing the sun, as we typically do on our light links. Or maybe that you start to spin, doing some backflips or internal rotations until the orientation is such that suddenly you find yourself outside imagining the sun because you've rotated internally enough for the brain and that internal gimbal within you to spin enough for everything to be perfectly lined up. So just continuing to breathe here, kind of a fun exercise. And as you allow yourself to orient from this perspective now, letting there be this ring that begins to form around you. Let this solar ring form around you, especially as you feel whatever twisting needs to occur. You may feel yourself wanting to shift position. You may internally want to twist through your body. Let yourself find that orientation point, that lock-in point with the sun. Nice deep breaths in. And you're going to know you've got it. Send the signal, send the command for there to be a click, for there to be a full halo or circle of light, maybe a flooding out of light, or you are the sun now, like the sun, if you were to imagine it outside of you, but it's also in your heart, like no distinction between the two. And now go ahead and take a look back at your feet. And it's almost like, how do I describe the visual I'm getting? We could disconnect from the feet, but you're like a Gumby or one of those stretchy characters like springs, right? Like you've grown exponentially off of the earth, and there's all these twists like a spring down to your feet. And don't worry about necessarily feeling all of that, but just to kind of capture a frame of reference. To your orientation point. And it's almost as though we are locked in on a dome of where the sun enters, connects, like I said, those wires, if you will, connecting to the earth. Let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath in here. And notice how if you follow that coil back to your feet, don't do that yet. Nice deep breaths in, nice big exhales out. I want to have you focus on this ring all around you. Nice big solar ring. Imagining the ring all around you. And in a moment, we're going to do the second part of our light link, connecting to the earth, to the physicality. And through this, I want to have you choose. I want you to choose as though inside of this ring, there is one perfect, it almost looks like a opening, a portal, a slide, a hole for you to slide back down and through, to get to the feet, to get to the earth. And if we were to ride this exact portal, it would take us not even to your body, but to the center of the earth. And I want you to find that one. There's many options. I want you to find that one from this big ring. If this ring has all like this spinning around you, I want you to find this one at the center. And when you're ready, it's like you're entering a cone. And gravity starts to suck you in. And it's pure white, silvery light. And go ahead and imagine sliding backwards, almost inside out and upside down and backwards. And you could even let yourself kind of be sucked through inside out, not even physically, like just let yourself like a sock being pulled inside out, get sucked inside out and spinning all the way back down and through. And this time, as you spin all the way back down and through, you land splash in the center of the center of the center of the earth. Some might call this the crystal quartz at the center. It's actually far more expansive. Right now, we're just experiencing it as a liquid pool of light. No movement, just liquid light. Nice deep breaths in here. Breathing in and out. And to give ourselves some form or structure, begin to swim through this liquid light. Notice if it has an edge to its horizon. Notice if you can see back out to that dome and where you came through. Notice if you can sense your body and how you spiraled through it, or are you deep within the center of it? Nice deep breaths in. Breathing in and out. It's from this space that I invite you to begin to feel your way to collect, to begin to dream, to draw on the slightest bits of desire. If you can sense from this deep dimension your body somewhere beyond, starting to pull on focus, on light at the core essence of your being. Can you find a color and pluck it like a string and cause it to ripple across this field of light in your mind's eye? Can you see pink, the pink flame? And as you imagine it, cause it to ripple up and through the dimensions to your mind's eye. Can you see blue? And as you imagine it, cause it to ripple up and across your mind's eye. Can we now reach even deeper into this liquid pool of light and call in gold, reaching deep within and cause it to ripple across your mind's eye. And notice as you do this, where do you sense and feel it within your body? I want you to take these three colors and start to imagine them like braids, like cords of light that you can start to braid together. And as you braid them together, a pathway through space and time begins to form. And as that forms, almost tunnel-like, you can move it and feel it rippling through your body, or sense its ever so subtle motion. These aren't big ripples, they're just the subtle, 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 ever so subtle movements. And as we do it, it's though we're shaking loose the veil. I want you, as we're queuing this up, to think about all the times you've thought about the veil, you've thought about the Akashic, you've thought about dimensional beings, you've thought about the deep, dark, not so pleasant forces. And then you've thought about those jubilant, celestial, angelic forces that we construe into the veil. I want you to think about loved ones who have seemingly crossed the veil, and the ways in which our brain, our body, our mind understands it. I want you to take all of those images and understandings and put them up in the screen of your mind, like multiple, multiple, multiple images, even your dream spaces, like just throw them all up on a wall, like TVs that are playing out. And then I want you to do a little backflip in your mind, or even go behind the TVs and just jump back to this orientation point where we were braiding together this path of these simple pink and blue and golden flames that are stretching out before us, making this path kind of like, and you're able to like pluck them and shake them kind of like you would, like we see people do in the gym with those heavy ropes. Except these aren't heavy. You can just ever so slightly move them and intricately begin to weave them together. And notice how just these three chords, if you give them a good shake and you look way out on that projection of old perception of the veil, you begin to knock out a few of those TV screens and they just open. The memories just turn to light. So continue from this spot to shake, to twist, to braid, to purify. You can even pick these flames up and hold it as though you're holding the end of the rope. And have this purifying thought and intention to purify your veil and your understanding of it. To set the intention, if you so choose, that it clears, that it opens. And then blow that thought and that intention all the way down these flames. And with it, feeling winds of change opening through space and time and experience, feeling through the dimensions of your body now, as you did and sent that intention and that prayer down these dimensional lines. It's really what they are, dimensional lines, dimensional flames, but they're really lines or chords, for lack of a better way to think about them. They're microtubules that are hollow, is really, if we had to put like a structure on them. You probably can feel physically inside of your body this opening through your back, because we're working, the dimensions flip. Remember, we were doing some backflips, so we're kind of going back and forth. So your brain is also picking up on the sensation opening, like it's as though we've cleared your wings out. So when we blew like that, even though we were orienting from one direction, blowing in one direction, what we're really doing is blowing out your wings, blowing out your memories, blowing out your dimensional infrastructure, clearing the cobwebs, the memories of the veil. And it's not that our spiritual DNA or advanced technologies of wings hold memory like that, but they're filters. And those filters are really just a metaphor for programming within the operating system of this incredible biological mechanism that we're all here operating. Our body is just a projection. And our mind is cued to receive those signals of sensation in the most subtle of senses. But if we open ourselves up to understanding that it's all projection, that the body is not the driver, and allow it to receive the inputs from these other dimensions, and recognize that the veil is actually not a veil, but rather dimensions that have been clogged and clustered and not able to be seen or perceived through. That's it. Then we can clear it. So all we've done today is just skip around. We went hijacked around the programming within your system and gave the brain a new orientation point to clean and clear from. So let's go ahead and do that again. Finding those pink and blue and gold flames. Taking a nice deep breath in, and this time, don't worry about thinking about the physicality or the wings. I just want you to take a nice deep breath and focus on clearing it all out, even bigger this time, the congestion and the blocks, the unknown and the unforeseen. A nice big exhale. And send those flames, fan those flames, send that intention down these lines. Go ahead and do it one more time. This time, blowing that those solar winds, that solar flame right on through, along with the pink and the blue and the gold. The gold is that solar flame. Let it burn through your breath until all you see is pure gold. Nice deep breath in and nice big exhale. Nice deep breath in and nice big exhale. Let your energy orient itself and just notice what sensations within your field, not even necessarily your body, you begin to notice. Ever so slightly, ever so subtly. Nice big inhale, nice big exhale. And feeling that ring now coming into your field of light. Feeling your body. And now feeling all of that twisting and how we had been expanded way out to the dome, now feeling it all collapsing into one. You inside of your body, the sun inside of your body, emerging from within. connecting internal to external. That liquid light, connecting internal to external. And now pulling from within, you're inverting a sock, allowing your mind to be pulled up and through as though we're pumping a well from somewhere deep inside of you, calling yourself, that version of yourself that went way within, calling that version of yourself all the way up through all of the dimensions, bringing that well of light from deep within all the way up to the surface, rising, 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 calling yourself forward like a geyser, like a new spring preparing to crack through the surface. And in many cases, like a daisy preparing to break through the concrete. Today, you are that daisy, puncturing through the surface, gazing towards the sun in this dimensional reality, feeling its warmth on your face, not needing to be too much, not needing to do too much, not needing to overextend, over operate, over mechanic, just being, nurturing, letting your body calibrate and adjust and process. That's it. Very simple. Nice deep breath in. Nice big exhale out. Another nice deep breath in. As you bring all of this light from within you up to the surface, feeling it now. Every strand of DNA, a microtubule or a wire of conductivity for the light to come to the surface of the cell to come to the surface of your body, and nothing but light to permeate out into your field. And you to do nothing but bask in it. And let your cells drink deeply from this nourishment. So with that, enjoy your day. Enjoy the light. Namaste. So much love.